Hello, I'm
Hi.
Morgan.
Hi, I'm Cassie.
Nice to meet you, Cassie.
Nice to meet you.
Are you comfortable? You need a glass of water or anything?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
good. Thank
awesome.
you, though.
Yeah. Well, why don't you start by telling me what brings you in today?
Okay. Well, I kind of just I feel like it's been something I've thought about for a long time. I just feel like I've just really holding a lot back and have a lot of internal battles that I just never really talked about
Mm-hmm.
out loud. So kind of
Okay.
from my childhood and stuff like that.
Alrighty. Well, this is
Yeah.
definitely a safe place to talk about those things. So you say childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking parents? Are we talking what parts of your childhood are we talking about?
Mostly pretty much things that kind of resulted from my parents. Like both of them are alcoholics, and it was during high school and all those types of things. I just kind of always you know pretty much I nobody would have ever thought I was awesome grades, super involved, always just really happy. But I mean I feel like that part of my life was totally, I just had to set up a barrier between that life and then what was actually going on at home with my parents.
So, what it sounds like
Mm-hmm.
is you feel like you have what you've gone through with your parents' alcoholism and the way it's affected you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you have almost had to hide that from others and almost act like it hasn't affected you when really you
Mm-hmm.
feel yourself struggling with it on a
Mm-hmm.
daily basis.
Yeah, that's exactly that's really spot on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell me maybe some things? Why do you feel the need to hide this aspect of your life?
I feel well, cause my mom was just not really involved at all. Would come home every day, and again being an I probably shouldn't have lived there, but I was just kind of scared to not, because it was comfortable. I mean, she was always drunk every day I came home, and so I feel like for me I didn't want to fall into that, and I knew that I had the potential to do better than that. So I just felt like the only way I didn't want to talk bad about my parents or put a bad being in a small town and not having much money and things like that. I just kind of, I feel like I had to really
So it
move
sounds
forward.
like from being from a small town, word
Uh-huh.
gets around quick.
Uh-huh.
So you were fearful of talking
Mm-hmm.
to friends or
Uh-huh.
family members about these issues and word getting back, upsetting your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds also like, as a daughter, as a female,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't really have that mother, guardian person
Mm-hmm.
to look up to
Yeah.
as a child because she was lost in a
Yeah.
bottle most of the time, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. That I can understand how that could be difficult, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to applaud you for coming in today and wanting to talk about these things.
Well, thank you.
So is it just your mom that
Well, my dad is they're both aggressive as well, and so I mean before they were divorced, my dad was very abusive to my mom, so I know that those that affected her, and her, the way her brain just became so wired. And so I didn't have a relationship with my dad either, and he was really angry a lot of the times, and it was hard. I just kind of felt like I had to just kind of accept it and just appease him with my behavior. So
just kind of do what they want to please them to get them by?
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it kind of sounds to me a little bit like maybe your mom's alcoholism resulted from your father.
In some ways, I mean, I guess they both they were always they were always pretty toxic, and then together it was not good. And so growing up and things like that, my siblings and I didn't really get a chance to have a relationship, so that was always hard.
So siblings, tell me
Uh-huh.
tell me about your siblings.
Well, I have a younger sister, and then I have an older brother, and we're kind of all just learned to be independent in our own. I also have a younger brother that's on my dad's side. So, and yeah, we growing up too, I kind of always wanted to teach my younger sister, as far as be kind of a parental figure, a positive.
Kind of be for
Uh-huh.
her to her what you didn't have in your
Uh-huh.
mom.
Pretty much, yeah. And sometimes I know that I was totally overbearing and did things wrong, but at that time I thought I was doing things right. Sometimes I'd be very hard on her.
Right.
Uh-huh. But
Okay. So, how old were you when your parents finally decided to separate?
I think about 2, and then my younger sister was just 9 months old, something like that. So I don't really remember.
So even after the separation, you dealt with these
Uh-huh.
issues.
Mm-hmm.
So have you have you seen these affect you in day-to-day life? Like, how do you see it affecting you now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I feel like I mean, there's some moments where I just kind of I feel really like weak, or I might have like there's like triggers or something like that. Um, and sometimes I don't really have a relationship with either of them. Like today, I kind of just like avoid it, and sometimes I think it's easier to pretend that they're like they don't even exist in some ways
Right.
than
Than to deal with it.
uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that doesn't make you out of the ordinary. So I think our focus today should be to make some goals
Mm-hmm.
to help you maybe come to light with some of these things that have gone on in your life and with your parents, and maybe help you get past some of those days that aren't so easy for you.
I think that's a good idea.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay.